Okay, let's welcome back to the show Black Voices for Trump Advisory Board member Ken Blackwell. Mayor, it's great to have you back on. Your thoughts here?
Look, in the mid 60s, Martin Luther King framed our challenge as a nation. He said, chaos or community. We can frame the situation that we're faced with now in America, chaos or community. What the senator was saying was that their side had chosen chaos as a political strategy. The difference here is that the president understands that the rule of law and public safeties are pillars of our foundation that in fact gives us the opportunity to be a more perfect union and community. That's the challenge here. And what's happening now are large blocks of voters in challenge areas are starting to see clearly the choice. And they're choosing the president's commitment to public safety and the rule of law.
You know, the protester rhetoric is being accused of being over the top, claims not getting fact-checked by the media, that Republicans are, quote, resurrecting the Confederacy and Jim Crow. Those are patently false. They're totally wrong and erroneous. Let's watch civil rights activist and Trump supporter Clarence Henderson on the protesters. Watch this.
Black Lives Matter is not a civil rights movement. They are Marxists. They have told who they are, and their intentions are to tear down the fabric of America.
Okay, CNN is waking up. CNN's Don Lemon saying Biden and Harris have to come out and do the right thing and say the rioting has to stop. But 3 months ago, Don Lemon said at CNN, you know, the protests and rioting is needed to restructure U.S. society. He implied they made words to that effect. Do you think that how the media is covering it is too little too late?
Absolutely. Look, they have been just absorbed in Trump's derangement syndrome. And as a consequence, again, they saw chaos as a political tool. The president sees the rule of law and public safety as essential to making us a more solid community and nation. And that's the difference. What's happening now is that their polling numbers are starting to say voters are clearly making the choice, and now they're trying to scramble. But what happens is that if they scramble, you know, towards public safety and the rule of law, they alienate the folks who are driving their strategy right now. Black Lives Matter and Antifa and the disruptors of our communities across the nation.
You know, today, Democrat Congresswoman Sheila Jackson from Texas was at the rally in Washington. She said, quote, "We ask you not to send tweets that we're attacking you as a mob because a militia walks around freely and shoots us without anyone's concern." Your quick reaction to that, because I need to get to this next story before we have a hard break. Go ahead.
Real quick. You know, Lee and others have always been talking about defund the police. What the president talks about is defend our safety forces. That's the difference. And they now know that the majority of the American people are in fact leaning in the president's direction because they want safe communities, good schools, and prosperous cities.
The media outlet Politico getting blasted for this tweet attacking criminal justice reform activist Alice Johnson, who spoke at the GOP convention in support of Trump. The president commuted her life sentence for drug crimes, and the president today granted her a full pardon. She's a criminal justice reform activist. Politico is claiming, Mayor, that Johnson was, quote, propped up by Trump as a beneficiary of criminal justice reform. Propped up, is that the right word to use?
No, it's not propped up. Look, there are, whether it was the efforts by a host of Christian faith-based nonprofits that go into our prisons, they believe in the process of redemption and change. And this president basically says that in that spirit, I want to create opportunities for people to live constructive lives after they do their time for the crime that they've committed. He, in fact, thought that Alice had, in fact, done the time and had changed. And she is a force for good. And that is something that is a true American story.
Ken Blackwell, thanks for joining us, Mayor. Great to see you.
Always good to be with you.
Same here. Coming